And we're ready. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rsn Wrestling Podcast. This is your guy right here, the mastermind, Sal. And we got my main man on the other line, the big guy, Rich.
What's up, guys?
So we're here today. Of course, this is another edition of The Shoot. This is basically where we sit down, we talk about the latest happenings of wrestling today as it's going on. Basically, it's just our way of seeing and keeping up to date on stuff on the daily. It's also a good thing for us, because then we can talk, basically what's going around and everything. It's also good for you guys. You get to see everything as it unfolds and also follow us along as we try to see everything. By the way, Rich.
What's up, Sal?
As you know, I'm the mastermind, so I run the YouTube page and I run the Facebook. I'm basically running all that stuff. We got Nick on the other side running PWO. By the way, which we'll plug later, so hold off on that. But I'm hearing
I was about to say it's a little bit too early for that.
It's way too early, but here's another thing. I'm hearing very, very early right now that you're running the Twitter page now.
Yes, me and you are splitting the duties on Facebook.
Definitely,
as you said.
Yep, definitely. But I mean, it's another thing too. I mean, basically, it's myself, Rich, and Nick, all are equally running each thing. But it's like priority. It's basically who runs what and who is basically keeping up and making sure everything's up on there. Basically, I'm basically making sure that everything is okay on Facebook. Rich is also helping with that. I'm checking out mostly the YouTube videos and stuff, and hopefully SoundCloud. I understand you guys are telling me a lot about the SoundCloud. We're also on SoundCloud, by the way. Podcasts are coming up soon. It's just very hard to do the stuff and everything, being that YouTube is being a little bitch about everything, about copyrights and shit. So hang in there. We'll get there and we'll do it. But moving on, big guy, Rich. I heard that I heard you're running Twitter now. I heard you're running the Twitter page.
Yeah, if you actually go to the Twitter page that we have, which Sal will put in the link after the video is done, you can see up to date with breaking news,
what's
any happenings. I believe it's RSN Wrestling Podcast or something like that. I don't remember offhand.
Let me double check. It is we can find out right now if we wanted to right now. Just give me 1 minute. Let's try to find it out.
I think it's RSN Podcast.
I believe it should be. Just 1 minute. Because I know we had this whole thing too and everything, but just 1 minute.
I'm actually on the page right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's at RSN Podcast.
At RSN Podcast?
Yes.
Really? I see. So definitely, I mean, check that out. It's RSN Podcast. Basically, it's the up to news, stuff. Rich, of course,
it's very up to the minute. Basically, that the minute I find stuff out, I put it on the Twitter account that we have.
Yes. And Rich, of course, as you know, he's very, very up to date with everything that goes on in wrestling. So it's a good thing because basically you're getting in connect with us, but specifically Rich because he has all the up to date. He gets it the first. Between me and Nick, I mean, we usually hear some stuff, a little ramblings. But if you see what Rich does, Rich actually goes ahead and he finds out what's there and he's able to put it up. And I think there was a couple of tweets. I think here and there, people are actually responding on our page, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty good too. I mean, it's good to see your feedback, your observation. Also, be sure to follow us there. Also, the support is very good. Maybe someday you'll see us on Raw, SmackDown, or something. On one of those taglines. And if you do, that's good for you, good for us too. Because
if you guys do happen to see it, take a picture of it, send it to us, so we could see that we're actually making moves.
Definitely. It's a good way for us to see how we are, and this is a good way for you to see that you're supporting us. That's a good thing, basically, for everybody.
I think I said this before in a previous podcast, but at one of the stores I used to work in, I was sitting there doing my cashier thing, taking care of the line. I think it was right before the Rumble, the 2016 Royal Rumble. A customer actually spotted me, came to my line and said, "Hey, aren't you Rich from the RSN Podcast?"
Really?
I'm like, yeah, I am. It's like, that was a great show you guys did, the preview.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Basically, it's good. I mean, I see pockets of that too. I mean, you told me a lot about people on the street. Hey, you're rich from from the podcast, right? And it's like basically it's a good way for us to see the feedback, and that's important for us because we can see how we can incorporate that into our podcast. And
And as we always say, us three, Sal, Nick, and I, we appreciate it. We
definitely,
appreciate the love that you guys show.
definitely, it's much appreciated. And we do this for you guys. We do this out of the passion of wrestling because we love wrestling fans just like you guys. You guys are wrestling fans. We're wrestling fans. We're all passionate about this together. But moving
And
on.
and as Sal said, we don't make money off of this. We do it because we love the industry.
Definitely, definitely, it is true. And I mean, well, moving on. So, Nick, I mean, Rich, let me tell you this. So Nick isn't with us, right? He isn't with us today. But I heard that he's the owner of PWO, right? Pro Wrestling Opinion, if I'm correct.
Oh, is that website that you could read about segment by segment shows,
Yes,
past,
yes,
present?
yes, indeed. And here's another thing. Basically, if you're with us, you're getting basically the up to date news with Rich, and basically you're getting the reviews, basically things that are up to date, things that are happening as they're happening, and you get to see the fantastic reviews that Nick puts on his website. So you got a side by side right there. You got the present and the past, and also what's going on there. As you probably know, Nick is a little bit behind, but he's still getting there slowly due to commitments. Things
Family
happen,
issues and
family issues.
work commitments.
Yes, yes, we all got lives, and we basically gotta pay the bills and do what we can. But
Nothing
nonetheless,
nothing against any other people who do the up to date, but
definitely,
wrestling is our lives, but it's not paying our bills.
definitely. But nonetheless, like we said, we do this out of passion. We're not trying to steal anybody's money. We're not trying to point any fingers and saying, oh, this is ours, this is ours. We're just basically doing this out of our own free time and our passion, and that's what's interesting here about RSN. By the way, this month is October, so it's basically Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For the whole month, we're going pink. Basically, it's just to support the fight against breast cancer. Breast
As you can
cancer.
see from our Facebook picture and our Twitter picture, we made our logo pink.
It's all pink, all pink, everything, and that's basically support breast cancer. If anything, donate. Basically spread the word about breast cancer, what it does, and all that. People are inflicted. I know there's many relatives, people that are personally with us in our personal lives, all three, between me, Rich, and Nick, who have had, people that have, been inflicted with these kind of things. And it's important to keep supporting that and stay strong with that. And that's all what we're about is in Rsn Wrestling Podcast. But nonetheless, we're here talking about a shoot. Basically, we're doing this to basically shout about the happenings of today wrestling, what's going on. So a lot of things happen, right, Rich?
As you could tell, I'm going to plug the Twitter again.
Yeah.
If you look at the Twitter account, you'll see many breaking news things that I have posted.
Yep, and there's also people that have been responding, so that's interesting. I mean, but specifically, yeah.
One of the things that, since we'll go right into it.
Yeah.
One of the things I posted on the Twitter account was Jamie Noble had gotten stabbed twice in a trailer park. Why someone would attack him, no one knows. He's such a nice guy from what everyone says.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's bizarre. I mean, and plus, and I mean, you probably know about this, the other stabbing that happened recently also. Well, actually not stabbing, it's like a kind of a slashing, with Del Rio. I mean, it's kind of shocking to see these two guys, they're getting slashed and stabbed. It's been a while since where you've heard on wrestling where you've heard a wrestler get stabbed. I mean, the last time that actually happened was probably actually the real time that real happened where someone actually got stabbed, probably in the 80s or probably 70s, something like that, because that was wrestling industry back in the day. But now
90s, it was New Jack.
Oh, right. Oh man, that's early. So,
wow, underage kid.
Oh, right. I remember now. Right. So there's
also one who lied about his age and said he actually had experience when she didn't.
Right, or mass transit, right?
Yep, I think it was 94, 95.
Right. I keep thinking it's a little, but I mean, there's
it's long ago, but it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. I mean, there's another thing too with I was thinking about how remember there was a storyline where John Cena got stabbed in the kidney or some shit like that in a club
by Carlito's bodyguard Jesus.
Carlito's bodyguard, yeah, and then And I remember I was a kid that time. I actually looked at it. I was like, he got stabbed. Oh my god, he lost a kidney. And you literally believed it. But then over time, as you see, you're like, did he really get stabbed? Did he really get stabbed? And they kind of put this gray line that was like, okay, did he or did he not get stabbed? And then we end up finding out that he didn't really get stabbed.
It was perfect writing though.
It was perfect writing though. I mean, we got to give props to them for doing that.
Since we brought up Del Rio on Twitter, also breaking news that I posted, he was actually spotted at the Impact Zone.
Yes, recently they had their Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which TNA ran out.
A lot of people didn't think it was actually going to happen.
Yeah, because of financial issues, and a specific company from Connecticut was showing a little interest. But we'll move on to that a little bit later. But
that we'll cover later on in the show.
Yeah, right. But what were you saying about Del Rio? What you like? They're saying that they actually spotted him near the site. From what I heard, it was just that
he was at the Impact Zone.
Really? Because I heard that he was just in Orlando, and he was just, like that's where most of the WWE stars are,
No, they said he was actually there. He was backstage.
Really? That's interesting. But that's a pretty big deal. I mean, of course, TNA offered a pitch when he was in the Indies and like AAA last year, so they definitely gave
Alberto Del Patron.
Del Patron, yeah, and they were offering him a deal to say come to TNA, and which he ended up taking WWE's deal anyway for the money. But let me ask you this: do you feel like he's gonna actually jump to TNA anytime soon?
I think he will, because he'll realize that he could be the big fish there.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's another thing too.
Just like all the other WWE superstars that jump ship.
Indeed. Well, here's another thing. Ethan Carter III jumped ship. Tyrus jumped ship. Now, recently, I know you're very, very excited about this. Well, actually, who else?
Everyone.
Yeah, Damien Sandow just jumped also, which was a pretty big deal. But
there's one more that you are missing.
Yeah, somebody that you were very, very excited for, as I know.
The dashing one.
Dashing one, and the son of the legend, and probably is a legend right now, who should be world champion right now. Cody Rhodes, or as they want to call him, Cody R, right?
Just Cody. He's going by now.
Oh, just Cody because of
Cody.
And I think it was a Sam Roberts podcast where he was talking about how WWE was telling him that he couldn't use that name, and he said, It's my name. Yeah,
I'm not dropping my name.
Yeah, it's my fucking name, and he's like, I'm still trying to fight for it. But I mean, you should check that out. It's Sam.
He's happy. He seems happy just going by Cody though.
Definitely, I think he's happy doing what he's doing right now. Because you gotta understand, he was on Arrow. He was doing a whole bunch of independent stints with a lot of famous stars. He had a list.
Oh, he had a whole list of people he wanted to face, and last time I checked, I think it was like halfway done.
Yeah, and he said that it was actually more names. I think Kenny Omega was one of them, but he felt like Young Bucks. There was actually a whole list of people that he really wants to get into ring with. But I mean, nonetheless, he's actually
right now he's gonna feud with Mike Bennett and his wife Maria, with him and Brandy.
And what I remember what you said about this. This is the first time ever, right? About what?
First real life husband and wife feuding with husband and wife.
That's right. And it's pretty interesting that TNA is, trying to utilize this. It's smart by them. I mean, first time we're actually seeing this, and it's
the one good thing they're actually doing.
Indeed, it is.
Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry.
I mean, well, here's another thing. So, in regard to TNA, they were having money troubles. They said that they wouldn't be able to do the next few tapings. They weren't even going to be able to do their biggest show, Bound for Glory. But then
there's actually a story I didn't cover, but I read something. I'll let you finish now.
Yeah, basically, it's a third party. A third party gave a check to them.
I found out who it was.
Who was it?
Because I'm great finding out stuff.
Yeah, that's why. And definitely the Rsn Podcast Twitter page, Rsn Podcast. Rich is the guy that's running it. But what did you find out?
The third party happened to be Billy Corgan and a group of his friends.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not
gave $200 million to cover all expenses, pay all the superstars, and something I actually forgot to put today. WWE has purchased the TNA library for $25 million, and now Billy Corgan is sole owner of TNA.
Yeah, so basically, there's
you heard it first here on the Rsn Podcast.
Yes, you did. And where did you hear it? From Rich and the Rsn Podcast, basically the Twitter page, and from Rich, the guy that's running it. But it's another thing too. Basically, throughout this whole
Vince got a steal for $25 million though. Just throwing it out there. That's a
Well,
steal.
well, that's a rumor, right?
No, it's finalized.
It's finalized. Really?
That deal is finalized.
Really, that's
The Billy
interesting.
Corgan one, not yet.
Really, that's interesting. Well, I mean, here's another thing. This past week, all it's been is WWE's buying TNA. WWE's buying TNA. But the truth is, they're not. If they could, they really couldn't, because I think what really happened was basically when they're saying that they just placed a bid. That's all they did. They just placed a bid. A bid just means that okay, you might have certain things, but that doesn't mean you have everything. It's not like it's 2001 again, where okay, WCW is on sale and basically they're going out of business, they're bankrupt, they need money, and basically it's shutting down and nobody's interested. The network is interested. Pop TV is actually pretty interested ever since their ratings have been starting to go up.
And
So
if you
now,
realize, ever since TNA went on to Pop,
yep,
before TNA, let me ask you a serious question though.
yeah,
Before TNA went to Pop TV, did you ever hear of that channel?
no, I didn't. I've never heard of it.
Neither have I. Once TNA went on, skyrocket.
Yeah,
Well, not really skyrocket, but like
no, but they in
movement.
reality they have really skyrocketed. I mean, if you compare it, they're starting to get like Spike when TNA was on Spike and WWE was on Spike. It's kind of like that now. They're starting to get there, but it's still a long way. But I mean, it's kind of interesting how WWE, like a lot of people thinking that WWE is just going to take over TNA. The thing is, there's investors there. There's the channel, the people from the channel. They actually want Impact to stay on. So really, that wouldn't work. So it makes sense for WWE to actually buy the library, because why would WWE actually go ahead and say, oh, we're going to go ahead and just.
Well, if you think about it, now that they have rights to the library and all video footage,
Yeah.
you're gonna see TNA on the network. All old episodes, old pay-per-views. They can actually put AJ Styles footage, Samoa Joe.
Well, here's another thing. I think the reason why they bought the library was to educate their fan base, because of course because if you notice in the past few Raws they've been changing it. They've actually you see Michael Cole actually bringing up highlights about the IWGP World Tag Titles when it comes to Luke Gallows or Anderson when they're on TV, or AJ Styles when he's the IWGP World Champ, and Brock Lesnar, same thing. Basically they're bringing up these indies, but they're not actually showing any footage. They're just bringing them up. They're mentioning them, so it makes sense.
That they actually have it, they're gonna put little snippets in probably.
Yeah, and it can educate the fans. I mean, those people that don't know, who are actually are interested, they can actually find out now. They can pop up on the network.
If you think about it, how many people don't know about it? About Gallows, Anderson, AJ, Brock, and all that.
That's
Everyone
true.
who's not an internet mark.
Yep, that's true. I mean, but that's like a percentage of their audience. A short percentage of their audience.
Younger one. The younger groups.
Basically. But I mean, nonetheless, it's a good thing. I mean, think about this. I recently read a podcast. I saw a podcast. Matter of fact, this was a recent WWE Legends thing on the network. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were on it, and they were like, every time they went to autograph signings, little kids are two-swooning them. Little kids. These are like
They
kids.
know about it. The Bullet Club.
Yeah, not even the Bullet Club. Like just looking on the network, watching NWO, and this is their words. They said, "We owe our lives to the network."
And not even just the network. You could see AJ, Gallows, Anderson doing it.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. I think that's good for them. It's good for us because we get to see that. And we're basically living a dream, basically. See TNA on the network being mentioned, and they can actually incorporate into the storylines. But also DVDs, which is another big thing. I think that's their plan. They want to show this on DVDs, which is pretty interesting. But, I mean, it's kind of interesting to see that WWE is really, really putting this effort to say, hey, we're going to get TNA. We're not actually getting full TNA. We just wanted something that can help us. Because if you look at all their influx of talent that they got Rude, they got who else? Austin Aries, they got EY, they got basically who else? Storm, James Storm.
Something I just found out. Might crush you for that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm interested. I mean, but also they got Joe, they got AJ.
Well, do you want me to? You know what? I'll break the news here.
Go ahead.
The Rsn Podcast.
Go ahead.
There's actually 3 names that popped up at a TNA taping, dressed up in suits and masks, attacking Robbie E and Grado. The 3 identities are James Storm, Bram,
Hmm.
and Eddie Kingston, who also just
Really?
had a WWE tryout recently.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's really so that's interesting. But now like TNA is like a indie company, so you never know. Maybe he might have signed a deal. You never know. But I mean, think about this too. Rich, I heard that you said that you broke some news, I think, regarding a star that won like a big title change that happened, right?
Oh, TNA, correct?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes, at the most random place they could do it. Also, a TNA taping. American Wolf, as we know him, part of the Wolves in TNA. Eddie Edwards beat Bobby Lashley for the TNA title.
Which is a pretty big deal. I mean, Lashley is TNA's version of um
I'm not gonna lie. He is hands down the most dominant TNA champion ever.
definitely he has a caliber of like Brock Lesnar. He's basically the Brock Lesnar of TNA in a way because you see I mean this guy held all three titles at once. He held the King of the Mountain title, the X title, and the World title at the same time. So that's a pretty big deal. And on top of that, you're dominating every match. You're winning every single title defense. So they
And
basically
if you
built.
think about it, look at the size difference between the two.
Yep.
That's what impresses me.
Basically, it's the big muscly guy versus the indie guy that has no future in the eyes of let's say the big corporate heads. It's a pretty big deal. Eddie Edwards is a guy that's been working for a long time. I think he made his debut in 2002,
Something like that, early 2000s
something
with
like that, right?
Davey Richards, his best friend.
With Davey Rich, his best friend. So he's in the business as long as John Cena probably. John Cena was in
Just
I think
about, yeah.
2002 also. Yeah, so around
He
the
was
same time.
Yeah, Cena was the OVW class of '02. Him, Orton, Batista, and Brock.
Yep. And it's the same. It's basically I think it's a long time coming, and he deserves it for sure. Because he's one hell of a performer. He can do all kinds of things. And here's another thing too. He's been X Division champ. He's been a King of the Mountain champ. Now he's the world champ. It's a pretty big deal. And it's a pretty good thing to develop his character like that. So give props to them too on that.
I think he's a great competitor though, singles or tag team. But
definitely.
As you can see, as of recent, he's a better singles competitor.
Definitely he is, and he's improved. He's stepped his game up.
Don't get me wrong, because everyone knows I love the Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
They're both equally talented. I'm not bashing Davey Richards, saying that he's holding Eddie back, but due to the injury, which is kayfabe, everyone knows Davey had a baby with Angelina Love.
Definitely.
But Eddie is a great singles competitor.
That's a fact. That's true. I mean, this also one thing too that basically it seems like they're setting up something. They're trying to set up some kind of thing where because you see you see Eddie being more successful than Davey. So are they planning some kind of turn? Something's going on. Maybe they're trying to bring up more people into the world title picture. You never know.
Well, since as everyone knows, they were part of Ring of Honor. There's another thing that has been confirmed also in NXT about Ring of Honor. You know the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is happening, correct?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Rsn Aries has a mystery partner. Me, being the great person I am, digging deep into files and shit.
You're better than TMZ then.
I know who the mystery partner is.
Definitely. Who is it?
Should I say it or should I leave him hanging?
Say it. Well, matter of fact, it's going on right now as we speak. So we're recording this. What is this? Wednesday, October 5th. So at this time, I believe NXT is still going on, or it's about to come on.
It's about 10 minutes before ending.
Yeah. So So you can say it. I mean, there's no. No one's gonna say nothing.
Rsn Aries' tag team partner is Mr. ROH himself, Roderick Strong.
Really?
As everyone knows, he was ROH Tag Team Champions with Roderick, and Roderick signed a deal in beginning mid-August, after right before his ROH contract ended, and he was in the Performance Center for about a month, getting used to the NXT WWE lifestyle.
That's crazy, though. I mean, so basically, he's full time with WWE now.
Yes, he is.
That is very interesting. I mean, that's the thing. That's what WWE, they want to build up more and more stars. And Roger Strong, I think, was on their radar for a long time, right?
He was. It was just his contract.
Yep. But now he's actually there and he's, doing stuff. So I think he's a good addition for NXT because if you notice, NXT is losing names now. Speaking of
But they're
NXT,
but they're gaining ROH and TNA names.
yeah, I can see that too.
So
I
they're not
mean,
really so they're not really losing talent.
yeah, they're not
They're losing,
really.
but they're replacing it.
Yeah, they're basically just compensating for whatever's coming, whenever's going out to the main roster is coming back in, which I can see, why they're doing that. That's a good thing, but eventually there's going to be a point where they're going to need more and more talent, and it's a good thing that they're doing that by bringing in these indie talents. But
I
speaking
don't
of
know
any,
what's I don't know what's happening with Eddie Kingston though, because he had the tryout. Now he's in TNA. I don't know.
yeah, so there's something going on there, but for sure, I mean,
But
well,
I
look,
won't let you down, fans. I will find out. I will dig deeper into the files for you guys to find
definitely,
this out.
definitely, you don't got to go on any kind of wrestling PW whatever site. Or, I mean, well, not well. You obviously have to go to PWO because you
Of
get their up
course,
to date site. But I'm talking about like pro wrestling. This that or
any
whatever.
any dirt sheets. You
Any
don't
kind
need
of
that
dirt
anymore.
sheets. You don't need that anymore. Just throw it out the window. You got us here at Rsn Wrestling Podcast, run by Rich.
Go to our Twitter.
Go to our Twitter. Indeed, you'll see everything. But moving
Well,
on.
well. Speaking about that site you brought up,
Yep.
those three letters.
PWO, right?
Tell the fans, even though they probably already know.
Well, I've already told the story of, I'm going on, basically, well, right now, currently, I haven't seen any of Lucha Underground. I can tell you that I can tell you guys. Because basically, shit happens. You got to
You're always
follow
working. You're in school.
work, school, things get in the way and you got to, roll with the tide. So basically, what ended up happening was, I ended up looking on the site. I'm actually thinking about doing this soon. I actually look on a site, read up some reviews on Lucha Underground. And basically, you kind of read it and you kind of get interested, see what's going on. And then, as you're reading, you start getting more and more interested. You're like, oh, wow, that happened? Really? That happened too. So it gets you more and more pumped. And then you're thinking like, wow, I should really start watching it. So by watching, basically what Nick does on his site, if you go to prowrestlingopinion.com, you get break by break, breakdown by breakdown, results and everything. He basically breaks it down to a point where you can actually visualize it in your head and you'll know what's going on. Basically, you can see everything as it happens while you're reading it. So that's the best part about this. But I think you have a specific headline for this, don't you?
Is that time?
It's that time indeed.
It's tagline time.
Tagline time indeed.
Reading is fun. Reading is fundamental. Reading about wrestling puts you over.
Indeed, yes, indeed. That's a fact. Again, be sure to check that out too.
Do you know the guy who runs the site?
Yes, we do. Matter of fact, he's in our podcast, right? Isn't he?
Well, he's not here with us, but he is part of the show.
Right.
What's his name?
Nick. I heard his name is Nick Lopez, not just any Nick Lopez. This is Nick Lopez.
As Brian Kendrick does it, he's the Nick Lopez.
The Nick Lopez, yes. I think that should be his new nickname. I'm actually going to write a petition for that.
The Nick Lopez?
The Nick Lopez. Well, he wants to call himself the executive.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. But we should definitely try to pitch him in on the Nick Lopez. Because it makes him more, because as he said before in our previous podcast, which was TNA, basically our TNA podcast, he said there are many Nick Lopez's out there, but I'm the only one that is running PWO and basically giving you the breakdown coverage of wrestling.
That is true.
In his words, that's true. So definitely, and next time we see him, next time we talk to him, we definitely got to bring that up for him, for sure.
I'm fine with that.
Definitely. Let us know what you think also. But nonetheless, another thing also, regarding NXT. So they got this tag team classic going on. There's so many names that have been brought up, right? You have the bracketology, right? I remember you posted it up.
I sent it to you in the chat.
Right. I briefly looked at it. I didn't get a chance to, but there's a lot of names, right? A lot of this year's bracket is pretty interesting, right? To see.
Yeah. Okay. The first matchup. Well, there's matches that already happened. It was the Authors of Pain versus the Bollywood Boys.
Yep.
It's the match that's happening now. It's the Revival versus Cien Almas and Cedric Alexander, which I think should be a great match.
Definitely is.
There's a match, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus two guys that were in the CWC. I don't remember their first names, Wang and Lun.
Mhm.
Then you have No Way Jose and Rich Swann versus Tony Nese and Drew Gulak.
Interesting. So they're bringing in cruiserweights also.
Yeah. You have Ty Dillinger and Bobby Roode, which I think they have many names they could go by. The Glorious Tens.
The Glorious Tens.
Perfectly Glorious.
Perfectly Glorious indeed.
Versus Sanity, which is actually a stable run by Eric Young.
Really? So it wasn't oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not like a diva or anything?
No. It's
I actually thought it was a diva.
I thought it was too. I thought it was actually Jessica Havoc who was part of it, but it's not.
Really? That's interesting. I never knew that.
But it's a stable run by Eric Young, who is perfect for it.
That's crazy. I never knew that. That's kind of interesting. I mean, I personally I haven't gotten a chance to see NXT or Lucha or anything like that. Pretty much all I've seen is just snippets of Raw and SmackDown. So I'm hearing this and I'm kind of like, holy shit! Like, so it's a lot of shit is happening. But I mean, nonetheless, I could be reading this on PWO too. But
yeah.
PWO is a little bit behind. But it's good to see, all this and hear from it.
Here's the team that I think could actually go far in the tournament. Hideo Itami and Kota Ibushi, who signed.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, he's not going full time from what I heard, right?
He's doing a part time until his contract in Japan ends.
Really?
And then he's signing
probably
full.
From there. Wow, so Triple H isn't playing any games. He's like, he wants his guy right now.
Look how hard he went for Cedric.
That's true, yeah. He actually went. And here's the thing with Triple H, he's willing to deal with, basically deal with all that. Look at, for example, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. They recently finished up their last indie dates. So they were with the company about 2 years, right? Almost a year, maybe.
A year.
A year ago, right?
Because they signed before the first NXT Brooklyn.
Right,
remember,
and
they were in the first classic.
Right, I remember. Right. They were introduced as one of the tag teams, I believe, and that was like a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's interesting though, like if it was Vince McMahon would be like, no, close your indie dates. You have to do a full-time commitment with us, even though we're not going to use you. But Triple H was like, okay, I understand you got to make money. It's all right. You can work TNA, you can work whatever. They worked TNA while they were they were still on NXT TV.
I remember that.
Which is pretty big.
Ciampa was on NXT, and then he was on TNA the next night.
Which was pretty bizarre to see. It's kind of like the Monday Night Wars. But it was kind of interesting, to see that. Like Tommaso Ciampa, he's obviously working because he needs to feed his family and everything. And, Johnny Gargano is the same thing. He needs to provide.
Just got married.
Just got married, by the way, too.
And you know who actually is getting a tryout? Another breaking news.
Who?
Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae.
Really? Well, I mean, they've been poaching. I think they've been poaching a lot of divas, I think, right? A lot of women, specifically. A lot of wives of wrestlers. I heard they're going after... Yeah.
I was saying wives and girlfriends they've been trying to get.
Yeah, but Bully Ray's wife or fiance, Velvet. They've been trying to go after, I think, Angelina Love, too. Who else? I think another TNA star, too. I forgot her name. It's another wife.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name either.
But yeah, basically there was like a big uproar. Like they really, really want her. So it's interesting what W is trying to do. They're really going at it.
If Triple H goes for it, 95% of the time he gets what he wants.
Yeah. Well, look
how long it took him to get Cedric though, like 2 years.
And it took a while though, for sure. I mean,
and where is he? 22 pounds lighter. He's running NXT.
And he's one of their head guys right now, so it's interesting. But I mean, speaking of tournaments, so they had the Dusty Classic for a year now. They have the Cruiserweight Classic, but now from what I'm hearing, and
TJ Perkins, they have been on him with the title.
Yeah, they have him as a title, but now they're actually bringing in a new tournament, from what I'm hearing. A women's only tournament.
Triple H is pushing for it. He's not sure if he has to see if he could get enough talent to do it. Right now it's just a rumor.
Well, I think from what I'm hearing, they're actually fully onto it. Like they're fully on board.
They're just trying to get the talent to do it.
Yeah, they're just trying to find the talent, and I think that's why they're going after all the women mostly, because that's what they're basically looking for. They're looking for more and more divas. But I don't think they're gonna have trouble with that. I mean, if they put together the CWC, this should be a piece of cake too.
And look at who they brought in though. They brought Tajiri back,
Yep.
Brian Kendrick. They got
Did you ever?
Cedric. They got Coda, Zack Zaber.
Well, let me ask you this: out of all the 32 names, did you know all of them?
I knew about 28, I believe. I counted.
28, really. Well, me, we're both, basically, if they looked at us, they would call us marks, right? Well, if I'm a mark, I would be able to know all those names, right? There's 32 names. Personally, I didn't know probably half of those names. I knew about the Bollywood Boys. I knew about a couple people here and there. I knew about Tajiri, but I didn't know about Grand Metalik or Lindsay Dorado. I didn't know about any of that. But then when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. Like this is a pretty big deal. So if WWE really could pull off the CWC, no doubt they could pull off this women's tournament. I think, and it's probably going to be soon for sure.
Hopefully. Well, look at the popularity of CWC. Once people heard about it, they were like, "Okay, I'm watching it."
Yep.
Everyone loves cruiserweights.
Yep. Well, speaking of the cruiserweights, this Monday on Raw, basically Brian Kendrick beat T.J. Perkins on his Raw debut, which
everyone could have swore was a title match because that's what Raw was like advertising it as.
Yeah, word. You actually saw the same thing. You felt like it was a title match too, right?
Because they hyped it up for like a week.
Yeah, and I actually
cruiserweight title on the line.
Yeah, I actually thought it was a title match too. But then
when I saw TJ tap out, I was like, no, he didn't lose the title. He can't lose the title. He can't lose the title.
I was so scared. And I was like, wait, did he really lose the title? And the next thing you know, you're looking at it like, oh,
okay, he didn't lose the title.
Oh, okay, all right. And I'm like, okay, they're building for it. That's good. It's a good thing to to have title changes, but not that quickly. I think they still need to develop T.J. Perkins, but I think Brian Kendrick's next in line. He's definitely going to get his title, I think.
Either him or probably I think Cedric deserves it, but it's over in a matter of time.
Hands down, I think they're building up for it because there's so many names that they can have win that cruiserweight title. Just don't have like a Santino Marella win or have a Hornswoggle win again. Like just have someone legitimate win.
Well, in your opinion, if they do a second CWC, which they most likely will,
yeah.
Do you think they're going to bring in 32 new names or do like half the people that were in it already?
I think they're going to bring in new names.
All 32 new names?
All 32 new names, I think. Because if you think about it.
That's a lot of talent that they're going to take from other companies then.
True. And that's another thing. With all the indies, now they have targets on their backs. And I think that's what Triple H is trying to go for. He wants to have a target on. He wants them to feel like they have a target on their backs. Because if you think about it, Evolve, they're basically their partner indie promotion with NXT is getting all this talent. And you know where I'm going with this, right? You think I know? I think you know which name I'm talking about. That's going to be definitely in the CWC.
Yeah, I know.
Yep. So this guy went to Evolve. He had his big match with, basically with another big star.
Well, not even that. If you could just type it in, the Paul Heyman shoot that he did.
Yep.
He called out one specific name.
Yep.
Gave him his personal business card to be a client.
Yep. There's a video of it, by the way.
2 minutes later, he pulls out a contract and said, I can't be your mouth because I'm the mouth of Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Plus, you're a great talker. But Will Ospreay?
Yep.
Would you like to be a Paul Heyman guy? He said that without actually saying those exact words.
Definitely. And I think this is WWE's way of trying to get more and more indie talent with an indirect way. Because if you think about it, Evolve can be used as like a bridge to get talent in. Because it
basically is, though. It's like the sister company. It's kind of like it's the new OVW for WWE.
Basically, yeah. It's basically like a feeder for NXT. And basically the main roster. Because if you think about it,
I personally don't think Will Ospreay should go to Evolve, though, if he's going to WWE. Just bring him right in.
I agree. Definitely. They should bring him in as soon as possible. But I think there's a reason why they're not bringing him in as soon as possible. Because they're looking for...
He still has his contract for another 2 years, Paul Heyman said.
Yeah.
Because he even said, I don't want you to ruin what you have in New Japan because I see what you've done. It's amazing.
Yep.
Don't ruin your New Japan legacy.
Indeed, same. Yep, it's a fact. I mean, that's the thing with and I think that's what WWE is trying to do. They don't want to sabotage because they got that reputation of poaching talent and taking them away. They don't want to do that, and obviously they don't. And I think what WWE is trying to do is they're still focusing on one more name to get. He's basically a prince in another company, or he was a prince, should I say?
He still is. He still goes by that name.
Well, yeah, sort of. He
Not
does.
for much longer.
Yep. But I think if you think
Well,
about
Triple
this,
H has targeted him, and he has contacted, and he has spoke to him personally.
yeah, basically it's Ricochet, who's also I think basically what WWE I think they're trying to do is they want to get these two names for the CWC. After
Just
that,
waiting for the contract to end, though.
yeah, they're just waiting for that opportunity to get it, and then they can go ahead and do it. And
Well,
I think
since you're the Lucha guy in the group, do you know how much longer he has left on his Lucha deal?
well, from what I heard, he said that he was done. I think what he did season 4, I think, or season 3, and that's it. Basically, he had his retirement match, I guess, with well, this is a spoiler already. He basically had a retirement match with Pentagon Jr., lost the title to him, and basically it was like, okay, so now
It was his
Chris Moore was
swan
out.
song.
Yep, basically it was a swan song. He's left the company, he's in the good graces of whatever, and basically he's doing his own thing. And I think a couple of months ago, I think in the beginning of the year, he said, "I'm not taking any more bookings after June." Mind you, during June, that's when the the tapings ended. So after that, he's still doing a couple of like indie, basically Japan and stuff. But
Probably finishing up his contract.
basically, there's probably some seeds being planted for basically a WWE run. It seems that way.
Ricochet versus Finn Balor. That would be a great match.
Now, there's so many possibilities. You can have Ricochet versus who else? Ricochet versus Zayn, Ricochet versus Owens, Seth. You can name as many possibilities as you want. And basically, he's like the next Rey Mysterio in a way. Because if you really think about it, he has the look.
But he doesn't get injured as much.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have enough ACLs or anything like that. But he's got life, and he's still young. He's still got a lot of time to do. So we'll have to see from there.
28 or something?
Yeah, he's like 20. He's not even 30, I think. He's still getting there. He's like 25 or something, I think.
Will Ospreay is around the same age too. So is Zach.
Yep. And I think basically they're planning for CWC because if you notice, CWC got them a lot of money.
Well, you said planting a seed, right?
Yep.
Speaking of planting seeds, another story I broke: Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan are expecting a child.
That's a good plug. That's a good transition. That's true though. So yeah,
expecting a child in spring 2017.
Basically, yeah. So now Daniel Bryan will be a father, hopefully, and Brie Bella will be a father, or will be a mother. Well, what should I say? Shit. But yeah,
they will be. That's going to be a. I just hope it's a son, so Daniel could train him.
Definitely, and hopefully we'll see the American Dragon Jr. or something like that. But we wishing the best too. But
you gotta admit that was a good transition.
That's actually a good transition. I gotta give you props for that. But
that's better than Josh Matthews.
Definitely. Well, Josh Matthews and who else? Matt Striker. Well, Matt Striker, I mean, he's just all over the place now. It's like, okay, you suck. And then Josh Matthews with
anything relates to Big Brother.
Yeah, anything with Big Brother. It's just like, oh my god, come on, man.
Well, there's a camera backstage, but by the way, there's a camera hitting in the wall in Big Brother season 9.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. You could do something much better than that. It's understandable. That just bring back Mike Tenay. That's it. Just bring back Mike Tenay. He'll find a way of doing it.
Oh.
But it's crazy. But nonetheless, also there's another thing.
Bring back Taz.
I hope
great.
Or bring back Don West. Like, fuck it, just bring Don West back. He'll be bodyguard and do freaking commentary. Fuck it, who cares? But I mean, also another thing we haven't addressed in regard to WWE. Sasha Banks regained her WWE Women's Championship.
There was actually something I saw on Facebook that was a very good comparison with Sasha winning. This is the second time 2 women have main evented Raw.
Mm-hmm.
The second time that the women's title changed hands on Raw.
Yep.
And this is just something I spotted, which I thought was a coincidence. So redhead beat the blonde for the title.
That's true.
Lita beat Trish for the title, main eventing Raw.
Yep.
Sasha beat Charlotte, main eventing Raw for the title. I just thought it was a coincidence.
Speaking of redhead, I hope you're not saying the other one.
Oh no, we're not saying that name or the other
No.
two names that we're not
Thank
saying.
God. Thank God, and I hope that doesn't happen in the future. But definitely,
But as everyone knows, I'm a big Sasha fan. I'm happy for
the
her.
boss. Definitely, it's a big deal for her. I mean,
I think it's great.
It's fantastic for her. I think it's a good thing because now she's a 2-time champ, the first time ever, like a 2-time.
And she's only 23 years old, so she has a long way to go.
She definitely has a long way to go. She's basically going to be the future for the time being. And I mean, it's a good thing for her, and it's a good thing for the division. That's one thing too.
And the first person to congratulate her was her best friend Bayley.
Bayley, indeed. But another thing, Charlotte put up her boots. Basically, she put up.
When I saw that, someone posted on Facebook, Charlotte was retiring. I'm like, no.
I couldn't believe that either. I was so shocked.
I clicked it, and then it said Charlotte's retiring her first pair of wrestling boots. I'm like,
oh my God, I was like, thank God.
That was a great troll.
Whoever
did that, props to you.
Well, actually, Well, if you go to WWE.com, it was the same thing. You go on WWE.com, it basically says she retires, and then the next thing you know, you click it, and it's like, oh my God, she's gonna retire. She's gonna retire. It loads up.
Nothing against anyone else who posts wrestling news, but I don't sit and check the WWE website all the time. I was on my lunch break, and I just clicked on Facebook, and I saw it. I'm like, holy shit, she didn't retire after her loss. Yeah, I clicked it, and then it was her Instagram picture saying she retired her first pair of wrestling boots. I'm like,
that was a relief. Yeah, that was a big relief. I mean, I thought something happened backstage.
Whoever did that story, congratulations, you trolled the whole world.
Definitely, props to you. But I mean, here's another thing.
I will get you back, you son of a bitch. Though, whoever you are, I will get you back.
Keep staying posted on our Twitter page. You'll see probably something. So stay tuned. But here's another thing too. So we have Alexa Bliss. No Mercy's coming up, by the way. This upcoming Sunday.
I personally love the Harley Quinn character she has right now.
Oh my God, that shit! I was just like, wow, she's fucking gorgeous. But like,
I called it from day one when she first came up. You denied it though, Sal.
I really did. Like, I actually, I mean, here's the thing. I'm basically converted now. I'm totally different now. So when I see her, I was just like, wow, like she's a fucking ring rat. But then later on, as time goes on, I saw that okay, she's dedicated. She's doing her work. She's putting her craft in. She's a phenomenal athlete. So I was like, you know what? I gotta give her props. So I was like, you know what? You're good with me too.
And then you saw her as Harley Quinn.
Once I saw her as Harley Quinn, I was like, that's it. I put everything away and said, that's it, Harley. That's it. You're the fucking real Harley Quinn. You could be my Harley Quinn if I don't care. I don't give a shit. Like, fuck it. But I mean, here's another thing too. So basically, she's feuding for the title with what's her name?
Becky.
Becky Lynch, the last kicker. So basically, they're fighting for the women's title on SmackDown this Sunday. Who's your pitch? Do you think the title's gonna win? That the title's gonna change hands? I feel like it's going to.
I have to go with my Harley Quinn girl.
Definitely, I feel like there's definitely gonna be a title change.
She proved that she deserves top notch.
Definitely. I mean, here's another thing too with that. She's basically an NXT girl. Sasha's an NXT girl. Becky's an NXT girl.
Charlotte was an NXT girl.
Charlotte's an NXT girl. But now having what you call it? Well, basically with basically our Harley Quinn, she came up in NXT real quick. Alexa Bliss came up just recently. So the question is, are they gonna give her a title right off the bat just like that? I hope they do because she deserves it. I think she can be a real heel.
Nothing against her. I think she's great. But there are, like, I've watched her matches. There is some stuff that she can improve on, though.
Definitely. I mean, but here's another thing, too.
But that's everyone.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you look at Carmella, for example, like Carmella and Nikki Bella.
She needs a lot of help, though, Carmella.
I think it sucks that they made her a heel. I don't like that. Because it's kind of like, okay, you basically
She needs her guys, though.
She definitely needs her guys. I mean, but it's kind of like, okay, you have her, she's for a year she's been with them as a face, doing whatever, and then you have them being a freaking being a heel, like out of nowhere. It feels like they're kind of having this thing where Nikki Bella is the John Cena of the women's division, and Carmella's trying to be the AJ Styles, basically this new girl off the block that's trying to get into the top spot, which is kind of like it's kind of corny. It's kind of like it's basically like someone with the buck teeth is basically booking this whole thing. I kind of
He
feel that.
probably is.
I got that sense. Like you know how there's like some storylines where you're like, okay, this is either a really
You can tell
old.
who wrote it.
Yeah, you could definitely tell who wrote it. So it's kind of like, okay, so what are they really doing here? They're really pointing for something. And it's kind of like, I kind of saw that. I said, okay, they're probably going for something just to build Nikki up a little bit and just have basically Carmella get her a shot. I hope that they don't split this up. I mean, if they're going to have her be a heel, at least make it last. Don't just make her, get buried. I feel like they're running out of options by just making her get buried. They're basically running her through a wall.
Hey, it's better than one person that they're running with. A certain redheaded person.
A certain redheaded, yeah. And this isn't the boss. This is the other redhead. But definitely, I agree with that. Well, she's out of her suspension, right?
About 2 weeks now.
2 weeks?
Just about.
Wow. So, I mean, she's doing Total Divas, though, I think, right?
Who isn't?
That's true. Yeah, but still, I mean, well, let me ask you this. What about, so we got also No Mercy, the other card, too. Dolph Ziggler. He's basically getting, there's basically building up this match where it's a title versus career match. Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. By the way, Spirit Squad came up on SmackDown this week. What do you think about that?
That was something.
It's good to see Kenny Dykstra come back. I think that was good, though.
It was something because him and John Cena were in the same locker room.
Definitely. That's another thing, too. And they had their beat, didn't they?
I was about to say that's something from back in the day because John Cena, Kenny was dating Mickie James. They were engaged. John Cena basically stole Mickie from him.
Yep. So there's a whole bunch of basically it's high school stuff. Basically it's high school all over again. It's just, it was that time. And it's kind of interesting to see him back and, in the good graces of the company where, they're bringing him back. They have him as a character, but they don't know if it's a full-time character or if it's a part-time character.
I think it was just like a one-time thing.
I feel like it's a long-term deal because, I mean, with Mickie, you kind of saw him, he was out of shape. It's kind of like he just, I mean, one of them, I think, retired, didn't they?
A couple of them.
A couple of them retired, right? So it's
I like what the Miz said, though. A couple of them got lost on their trip back to OVW when they were shipped.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. That was kind of a good segment, though. But overall, that segment was very good, though, I think. They put it together real good.
Well, me and my girlfriend were actually talking about this, about the Miz. He's a Hall of Famer. If you look at his achievements, he has Hall of Fame credentials.
I think
four-time WWE champ, 2-time WWE heavyweight champ, 6-time tag team champ, 5-time intercontinental champ. That's Hall of Fame credentials.
I mean, well, here's another thing with Miz. I mean, I think I disagree with that. I mean, I think he still has a lot of work to do. I mean, obviously he had that big promo where he was on Talking Smack doing all that stuff, but I think he still has a long way to go. I think he still needs to develop a little more. He still needs to do a lot more stuff. Like if you notice, he kind of I think it's just a booking basically. It's just a booking deal. I think it's the same kind of problem that Cena's having, where Cena's being booked as a face and he's kind of put as this baby face, basically this whitewash, soap friendly, this, that, vanilla face and everything with no, nothing's there. But with the Miz, I think it's just the same kind of deal where they just have him as this cowardly heel that's so old school, and basically they have him stuck in that role. And it's kind of like and I think he's been frustrated in the way that he's being booked. I feel it's the same kind of thing. But overall, I think that he has a long way to go, I think, from being a Hall of Famer. Obviously, I mean, of course, they kind of put him in that position to say, hey, he's a Hall of Famer. But still, he still has a long way to go.
Time will tell. Well, since we're talking about No Mercy, Kurt Hawkins is coming back.
Yep. You seen those vignettes?
Making his return.
Yep. It's real funny. I mean, those vignettes are priceless.
I think they have something good with him though.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think they have plans for him. They're probably focusing on doing something with him. We'll have to see though. I mean, but what about so basically another thing too. Did you see the segment on this Monday's this Tuesday's SmackDown on the very end of the show between the three members for the world title.
Yeah.
I think that was AJ's best performance so far on the mic. Well, actually, all threes.
Yeah, I was about to say I think all three of them.
Yeah, but I think AJ put on the biggest fight. Like what he was saying was all truth. Was all like it wasn't fake. It was all a shoot. Like it was real. I think because I felt like it came out of the heart. Like if you notice, he's actually improved over the past few weeks. Where 1 week he was kind of like saying something, and everywhere I was like, huh, like no response. But now like as time goes on, he's getting more and more better, and he's getting more and more more and more into a better heel. And it's good to see that.
Well, everyone knows anything he does, I love because I'm an AJ guy.
Definitely, I'm fully behind AJ too. Well, let me ask you this. I personally think this. I think that they're going for a title change. I think it's gonna happen.
I hope it's not the person that you think you're gonna say.
I hope it doesn't happen either, but I think it's gonna happen this Sunday for sure. Basically, I think
not.
I think John Cena is gonna win. I think he's gonna make 16 because the way that they're building it, I think they really want him to have that 16 title in 2016. Because if you think about it, let's see. So 2014 he has 15th reign. What else? 2013 he had his I think 14th reign, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually 2013 I don't think he won the title. Oh yeah, he did win the title. But then 2015 he hasn't. 2016 he hasn't won any titles. He's basically gonna dry this whole year. So every year he's pretty much held the title except this year. So it seems like they're going for that. They want to complete that record.
I hope not, though.
I hope not too. If they do, we'll have to see.
If they do, someone's getting a visit from me in Connecticut.
You're gonna go over there?
Yeah, I would.
And you're gonna that ass completely
take someone to Suplex City.
If that actually happens, I'm finding Kevin Dunn and I'm gonna suplex his ass. I swear.
You said the name.
I don't care. Fuck that motherfucker. I feel like he's behind this. I don't care what anybody says about anything. I think Kevin Dunn's behind most of the shitty storylines. These jobbers, if you notice these jobbers right now, all these jobbers that are showing up.
Okay, you watched Raw, right?
Yeah.
The jobber that Braun Strowman faced, was he not a mix of Chris Hero and Adam Cole?
Yeah. I thought that was one of those two. I was like, oh my god, they actually brought him. And it was like, no, it's another random guy. I was like, oh shit.
But he looked like a mixture of the two.
He definitely did. For a second, I had to take a double take, and I was like, oh shit, it's not him. I was like, oh, thank God.
I had to pause it for a second. I'm like, no, that's not them.
Yeah, that's not them.
That's not Adam.
Yeah. Think about this. Ever since they had this whole new era bullshit and everything, since the draft, how many squash matches have they had with jobbers?
Every single week.
Every single week, and it's like, what's the point of that? I think that's just Vince and mostly Kevin Dunn doing something. I swear.
Well, you know who I think his next opponent is going to be?
Who?
Someone who's coming back off injury.
Luke?
Yeah.
Luke Harper. Yeah, I can see that too. Well, Luke, I think he has a future. He might be a face, I think. Well,
Eric just went down for 6 to 8 months.
Yep. Which is a shame, I think. With Wyatt, I think for sure, talking about Wyatt, it's always been build up to the repeat. Build up to the match, promo, and then lose and then repeat. Basically, he's been losing every single pay-per-view this whole year. It's kind of like, why not give this title a world title shot? It's not understandable, But
he deserves it.
He deserves it, I think, for sure. But nonetheless, it's still a long way to go. We have to see from there. But was there anything else? I think we pretty much covered everything for now, right?
Yeah.
Well, No Mercy's coming up this Sunday. What else? I think the next pay-per-view also, Hell in a Cell, is coming up. I think this month also, right?
Something like that.
Hell in a Cell is coming up, I think, also, and then they have some other stuff too. But nonetheless, I think we're pretty much good. We talked about everything that's going on as of recently. Be sure to check us out on our Twitter page, newly developed. It just started, I believe, sometime last week, maybe the week before. Rich, the big guy's running it. Be sure to check that out. It's at Rsn Podcast. Follow it up all for your latest up to date news. What's going on in the rumor mill. Rich got the hookup. He sees everything. He knows about it. So be sure to check that out. Also, be sure to check out Pro Wrestling Opinion, the site where you can see all the top, basically the up-to-date, minute by minute, segment by segment review of, basically any kind of programming. Lucha Underground, AML, TNA, WWE, basically all the big promotions, even big guys and small guys.
West Coast Wrestling Connection.
Everybody. Dynamo Pro Wrestling. Also, be sure to check out their interview. He did one with Jake, with the
Dirty Dick Jordan.
Dirty Dick Jordan. He did a whole bunch of stuff. So be sure to check that out on ProWrestlingOpinion.com.
Well, but now that he has the hookup, we might see more interviews with stars.
Definitely. And also, another thing, too. This is a little bit far off, but we're also having our year. This is our second year where we're doing the year in review, second, this is the second year. So it's year in review 2016, where we're going to be doing the whole setup, basically, categories, talking about.
We're basically doing an award show.
Basically, it's the same thing. Yep. So we got that in December. Be sure to check that out also. Also, we're also going to have our latest podcast, which is best and worst pay-per-views, which is also going to come up soon, which will be up soon, I believe, sometime next week, maybe the week after that. Basically,
we're doing it Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, basically sometime this month we're going to be doing it. It's going to be taped this sometime this week, and we'll post it up probably sometime this month. But be sure to check that out.
Within the next week or so.
Definitely. But also, be sure to check us out on SoundCloud.
Oh, wait. Breaking news that I just read.
Really?
Yeah, I just read it right now. First ever Hell in a Cell women's match. Sasha versus Charlotte is in the works.
For the belt?
Yes.
Wow, it's going to be interesting. I mean, they've done table match, they've done a ladder match, but they haven't done, basically any kind of cage match in WWE. So it's going to be interesting, definitely, to see that. But
breaking news. I find places.
And where can we find that? At Rsn Podcast on Twitter.com. We'll be having that up on Facebook, also on Twitter, anything like that. Links.
I'll most likely be posting that on Twitter within the next couple of minutes.
Definitely. Be sure to check that also, and be sure to follow us there to get, basically to get feedback and all that stuff too. But
I think we basically covered everything.
Yeah, we're pretty much good. But nonetheless, this is the mastermind of Rsn Podcast. Sal, signing out.
There's the big guy, the snake behind all the breaking news.
Yep. Basically, the TMZ 2.0 times 3 times 4. That's a perfect 10.
I'm the Ty Dillinger of finding wrestling news out.
The Ty Dillinger of wrestling news, basically. But you'll definitely, be sure to check that out. It's a big thing, a really good thing, to have, But nonetheless, we'll see you guys out.
See you guys.
See you guys.